All right, we'll get started. What's up, YouTubers? It's Nick here with Real Talk with Nick. I'm here with my good friends, Ryan and Edna. This is very spontaneous. This just happened within like the last 5 minutes. But we're here at the Dhammakaya International Meditation Center in Azusa, California. And I wanted to bring them to the forefront to ask questions that I have always wondered about. For me, they inspire me simply because I've never had someone who's young. These two are always giving, they're always meditating, they're always helping out with the temple. And I remember coming here years ago, I'm like, is that real? Like, do people actually have a good time being a nice person, giving, meditating? Or I didn't understand it, because most of the time it's always I'm with my parents. I see people who are older, and then I see young people. I'm like, wait a minute, something is off. So I guess that's what I want to start out by asking you guys of, why is meditation so important to you, and what have you benefited from it? I don't know.
Edna?
Okay. For me, meditation has helped me tremendously in my life. Basically, I was introduced to Dhammakaya 7 years ago, and I mean, like prior to meditation, I'd go to different temples, different Thai temples around the California, but I never found peace because, you know, like I'd go with my parents, I'd pray, I'd chant without knowing what I was chanting, right? And most of the time, no meditation at all until I came here, where completely different from all the other ones, where there's no incense, there's no rituals or anything. It's basically meditation.
Right.
And then that's when I was introduced for the first time, and I fell in love right away. Just being that I don't have to think, right? Meditation, you're not supposed to think. And then when I started with the meditation, I'm like, oh wow, pretty peaceful. So with that on from 7 years ago, it just helped me in all aspects of my life. But mainly it's just to find myself, my inner self, and being able to share it to others. Before, people would ask me, Edna, you're Buddhist, what's Buddhism?
Right.
Going to the temple, praying, what are you praying? I don't know.
Yeah, I think that's where we kind of all connect, where being a younger generation, we hustle. We're still in the world where we have to make a living. We're still in the world where there's school and there's friends and there's social media. But it just sounds like when you meditate, it's an opportunity where it's like, oh, damn, I'm at peace.
Yes.
I'm at peace. And the noise around you just is more quiet.
Exactly. And to add on that, before it was more of pleasing my parents too.
Yeah.
Of going to the temple, just as a cultural thing, you know, I got to respect them. I'm still living under their roof, so just go with the flow. And just more, so it wasn't for me, it was more for my parents. But with meditation, it's for me. That's what I got.
Yeah, and one of the things, if people that know me, just a few that I've only shared this with, was I've always been resentful to my family, my parents, for pushing it.
Yes.
Right. I was always like, dude, I get it. I'm going. I'm an obedient, like Asian child. I'm gonna go, but it's like, what am I doing?
Yeah,
exactly.
I don't understand it. Don't know what it's about.
The language.
What are we doing?
And after meeting you guys, it helps me get an understanding, and it helps me pursue myself. And like you said, with the meditation, it's for you. It's not the costume stuff, but it's really honoring you. But
Exactly.
Ryan, what about you?
Yeah, I think what I liked most about this temple, and well, I guess what's different about it is that there's a big emphasis on the Buddhist principles and on meditation. So I grew up going to, like, being the only, because my mother's Thai and then my father's white, so I was the only, like, not fully Asian looking kid at the Thai Buddhist summer school, you know? And yeah, we would do chanting and meditation in the morning, but they never really taught us how to meditate. Everyone would just sit down and just close their eyes, but they didn't teach us what meditation was, or what chanting was, or what it was about, or even what who the Buddha was in his life story. But then again, we were kids, so you know, you don't I guess kids don't really get taught that stuff. But the interesting thing about this temple is it's basically created a whole meditation revival. I can't even say it was a revival. It's more like a revolution, because 70 years ago, 80 years ago, meditation was only for the monastics. It was not something. It was maybe for that one special layperson, right? That seems to have a propensity towards meditation, but for the most part, it was reserved for the monastic community, because I don't think it was until the Dhammakaya movement in Thailand where lots and lots of lay people in mass numbers started meditating together. So, I mean, for me personally, it's, you know, I kind of grew up in Buddhism, and then when I guess became more Americanized, I was more atheist, you know, like reading Richard Dawkins and a lot of books like that. But then at the end of high school, you know, I found myself getting in a lot of trouble, like even with the law and stuff like that. And my mom, you know, out of desperation, invited me on this meditation retreat, and it just completely changed my life. The whole idea, I mean, the whole paradigm that we live in is based on money and identity, right? And it's like, if you're able to build your identity and your status up high enough and get enough money, you're supposed to have some kind of happiness and meaning in your life. But what I found was that, you know, meaning and happiness, all those things come from inside us. And if we're actually able to just be still, all the meaning and happiness that we ever could possibly need is already inside us. Which is crazy, because you think that you keep running the rat race and eventually you'd get there, but actually it's been there from the beginning.
And
it's not something,
free,
and it's free.
It's
Free.
That's
It's not something you need to get a degree in, or that you need to pay a bunch of money for. It's actually been there the whole time.
Yeah, and one of the things you mentioned, this is a key point of where we're evolving to. We're all evolving to a place where we're going to be mystics without a monastery. We're in the physical world. Back then, it was you had to be a monk. You had to enter as a nun into the monastery to learn that wisdom, spiritual life. And now we're realizing this is the face of what a modern spirituality looks like. You have to be in the world, but also how to go inside of yourself to find that inner peace. And it's a dual place now. You can have both. You should be in both. And this is how souls help to evolve people in general. One of the things that you guys do so well consistently, not just from last week, but consistently, is you guys are always helping out the temple. You guys are always donating your time, your money, your resources. Talk to me about giving. Why do you guys do that and continue to do that?
Well, I feel like at least me personally, there's two ways to give, right? There's one where it's completely selfless and you're not thinking about what you're gonna get, right? And then the other way is to give so that the universe actually returns something to you, right? So some people feel like the former is insincere. I don't believe that. You know, I think that they're just two different ways of approaching things. At least, you know, here with this temple, when you make a big offering or you do something really great, you dedicate the merit to your family, and then you make a resolution for a specific thing that you would like to change in your life, or that you'd like to have come into your life. Some people would say that's selfish. I don't believe that. I think that that's just a different way to pray. It's a different way to be charitable. But what I tend to do more often than not is just embrace the act of giving. And it's not so much that it makes me feel better, because it does, but it's because I know it's actually the right thing. You know, it just comes from a place of wisdom and inner knowing that this is the right thing to do. We all have this moral compass. We all have this conscience. When we're about to do something bad, there's this voice that tells us don't do it, right? But instead, we go ahead and do it anyways. And then when we get punished for it, we know that was initially the wrong decision. So that inner compass always tells me, and I think it tells a lot of people, hey, this is the right thing to do, to give. The reason that you should give to the temple is because it's obviously bringing something really great to the community. It's bringing meditation. It's bringing, you know, people together, and that needs to be upheld and contributed to. Because if you don't give, then that disappears. You know.
Right. Awesome.
Exactly what you said. And just to add on top of that is, I mean, in order for this whole goodness to carry on, we are, as a next generation, there's no one else. Like our parents are getting older, and you know, people at our age, I'm saying we're so lucky.
Yeah, that's true.
The
yeah.
thing is, we're so lucky.
Right,
I feel
are.
like we're so lucky to find
Super lucky.
such like an amazing thing where I feel like it's our duty to actually share it to other people. And what better way than us, the next generation, to, you know, what's that called? Like, connect it, have the connection. We have, you know, our parents with the way they think of Buddhism and all that stuff, and us being us.
Yeah.
No, I mean, just the connection. I feel that we're in a connection. And that's, for me, giving is because, I mean, it changed my life, literally. Like, whoop. And I feel that if I could help out in some way, even just helping one life change the way I did, I would be really happy already.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I feel the more we give, everything else comes.
Yeah, there's a big change in a person individually when they start becoming a person of service. Like, it's surprising, you know. Even if you make, like, for you and I are both in sales, right? Like, we both do business. Okay, so if you make a certain amount of money every month, and then you actually start donating like 10 to 20% of what you make, you find that you don't know how or why.
It's strange.
You start making a lot more money. You know, like
Exactly.
there's
It is weird.
something about
Exactly.
giving that actually, I don't know, maybe it changes the energy field that you have, or the universe responds differently, or some laws are being changed, spiritual laws. But for whatever reason, things change. Like, people respond to you differently. You know, but instead, if you actually hold everything that you make, it sends out a different signal to everybody else.
Exactly.
So-
And that's actually a good way, I mean, that's a good subject because, for example, for me, like, why I'm in sales, 3 years ago is when I came across my business, the Kangen water. And the Kangen water actually helped me personally with my health-wise. Like, I was struggling health-wise horribly, and then I found this great water,
Wow.
and it helped me turn my life around too, like, health-wise. And then from then on, I actually prayed. Actually, before I found the company, I prayed. I wanted a business that I could, a global business, where I could help spread the Dhammakaya practice while having the funds to be able to do that. So 3 years ago when I got sick, I found the business and then found the water. And what happened was, going back to the giving, that my birthday of that year, myself and Nitaya Cook, we donated one of the Kangen machines to the temple because
Oh, awesome.
yeah, because it helped us, it helped her, helped my family. So we feel like, okay, you know what, this would be good for the monastic community and the people that go to the temple. And then from then on, that was 3 years ago. And then every single year we keep donating to different centers.
Right.
So there's 19 Dhammakaya centers, right, in the USA, and we've donated 6 already.
Wow.
And because of that, so I mean, the universe they don't speak to you.
Yeah. You
Oh
just-
man, because that's how, I mean, I'm full time now. We just came back from several centers like DC. I mean, yeah, meditation of DC, New Jersey, and sometimes I just pinch myself. I'm like, oh, is this really happening?
You're right.
That's crazy.
Really?
Wow.
Something I prayed about 3 years ago, and I'm living it, and it's because I'm spreading goodness,
Right.
right? Health-wise, and then also my experience, and
Yeah.
just being able to spread Dhammakaya practice.
Yeah, so you're doing both at the same time,
Yes,
where you
yes.
advance your own agenda, but also advance the collective agenda as well. What you guys speak to is so beautiful, where for me, what I find when you give your time, yourself, money, a service, is what it does is it opens up your heart. It opens up yourself to more goodness, more clarity, and what that does is it purifies your intention. That's what it is. Then it's clean, and when you move forward, you operate cleanly, and everything kind of falls in line.
Right.
Secondly, too, is balance. Everything in Buddhism 101 is the middle way. Everything, not too much, not too little. And balance meaning everyone in our Western world is always asking, I want that job, I want that relationship, I want more money, I want this and I want that. What the heck are you giving? Where is that balance? And
Right.
that is the
Exactly.
piece that is missing. And that's one of the tip you guys can use as of today is I donate after I meditate every single morning, just $1. Go to the bank, cash out $100. You can get in all quarters, you can get in dollar bills, and just make it a practice of giving to the world of here's a resource I'm giving, and what I find is that it gives back, and at the end of the month, 2 months, then I donate it to a good organization. But have that balance, and things don't show up because it's so tilted, it's so lopsided. But continue to give, and the world just kind of takes care of you without expectation. Don't expect it. A last thing I would want to ask you guys is any tips for anyone out there who's kind of lost, who wants to get into meditation, who wants to start delving into themselves. What do you do?
Okay. Yeah, I mean, you know, you guys are both a little bit older than me, but you know, right now, people my age, there's a lot of changes that are happening in what kids are taught, and there's just, I feel like there's a big, I think maybe especially for men, there's a big loss of responsibility, like just complete loss of direction, not exactly knowing where you're supposed to fit in society and what a young man's role is in society. I think a lot of kids are totally lost, and you know, there's a lot of different factors to blame, but I think ultimately when it comes down to it, people have to get their life in order. You know, you have to clean your room. You got to put your house in order before you start criticizing another person's home. And I think meditation is fantastic. Finding a spiritual system that works for you is fantastic. But more importantly, at least for people that live in the world, you got to figure out where you're going and what you want. You know, what you really, really want, what you actually want in your heart, and you have to have the courage to go out and get it. And if you know what you're supposed to do, and you know what it is that you really want, and you don't go out and get it, trust me, life will punish you for it.
Yes.
Because you're meant to give something to the world, you're meant to give something to society, you have a destiny, you have a mission, and when you sit on your butt and don't do anything about it, there will be pain, there will be depression, there will be anxiety, you know? So, cause I've meditated for a long time, and it wasn't really until you get your worldly path and your spiritual life on the same page that you're able to really move forward and blossom and flourish. You know, because you can have the spiritual practice, and you can develop yourself in meditation, and you can hone those skills, which is exactly what I did. But if you don't have a way to actually bring that into the world, or like bring that into work, or do something with it, it's just gonna sit there and you'll still feel lost and confused. You know, you have to remember that if you are a really spiritual person and you're not a monk, you have to remember you're not a monk. You know, you're not a nun. You have something to give, you have to contribute, you gotta have a plan, you gotta stick to that plan, you gotta execute. Woo. So that's what's gonna make you happy. You know, it's like, I can sit down and meditate and I can be happy like in a second, but then 2 hours later, if I'm still not doing anything with it, or giving, or building a plan, building something, I'm still gonna feel like you're just like that ship. You're just that lost ship at sea. You know.
So channel it.
Exactly.
Yeah, channel it.
Yeah.
And the great thing about meditation, what I love about it, is it has nothing to do with religion.
Right.
Being spiritual, if you focus on meditation, it doesn't involve your gender, age, religion, anything. Anyone could do it. You could even do it at home. You don't even have to come to the temple, right? You could do it at home. But the main thing is meditation helps guide you to your goal.
I had a question for you, Nick, because you've been meditating for a long time, and both of you, I'll ask both of you this. If you were to go back in time to when you first began meditating, 7, 8 years ago, 10 years ago, however long for some of us, what would you tell yourself to bridge the gap between how you feel about your practice now and how much peace you experience now and how much struggle you had initially in the beginning? Because I don't know about you guys, but the first couple years, 3-4 years in meditation was not easy by any means for me.
Yeah.
You know?
I think what I would tell my old self, what I didn't have was a certain confidence and a certain knowing. What I know now that I did not know before is everything. I kind of said it, but I didn't believe it. What I need to say is really everything that you have is within inside of you. I didn't understand how deep and how much wealth and how much wisdom I had inside of me. I was searching in this world. Let's talk about seminars and let's talk about Googling and YouTube and read and give me a CD. Give me a mentor that I can. No. What you have is everything already inside of you at your disposal. At your disposal, all you have to do is uncover it. Close your eyes, breathe, stay still, trust yourself. That's it. Nothing else. Nothing else. And continue to be patient and endure.
Oh, that's good. Up till now, 7 years later, I still struggle.
Yeah, there's still days. Yeah, of
But
course.
see, I mean, this great thing about that's why I keep coming every week because so I discipline myself to come and because when I'm at home,
Right.
I try to, but not as often as and it's better here. But anyways, I wouldn't change anything because what I learned 7 years ago till now, I think everyone will have to go through it. Not everyone, but most of people will go
Yes.
through it because
Yeah, right.
meditation is not easy. It's easy said, but very hard.
But yeah, right.
7 years later, I'm still struggling. So, but letting you know, anyone could do it, and as long as you practice it and continue to practice, and then be around
People that are doing
people
it.
are doing it. That's why I admire both of you guys. I respect you guys both, and if I were a guy, I wish I could go ordain with you guys. You did IDOP, right?
I have never done IDOP.
Oh, you haven't done
Yeah,
it?
I just ordained here.
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Ah,
Yeah.
see, that's great.
One of the things I would want to end on is, again, we're at a phase in our evolution where we need both. It's both physical world and spiritual world, and you have to bridge the gap, kind of what Edna and Ryan were talking about. But look at us. A lot of people have this myth that if you are going to go into the spiritual realm, I need to be quiet on the mountain hills. No, I'm hood. I'm hood and I'm ghetto and I have a job. I have my own business. I travel. I speak normal. I'm professional dance. I do my thing. You don't have to cater yourself to be a hermit, but this is what it looks like. But bridge those two. Allow yourself to be in the world, but also make time to nourish that insight and bridge those two. What I find is people are just one or the other. It's
Right.
just
Straight business or
yeah,
straight spiritual?
Yeah.
it's straight business, straight spiritual. All the clients that I work with, they're millionaires, they're billionaires, they have everything in this world, all material world. But their families are broken because I can't even connect
No
to my
spiritual
children.
essence.
Yeah. I don't even know why I'm here. I don't even know my purpose in life. I feel empty. Then you name all these diagnoses, anxiety, depression, ADHD, name it all. But again, you have to have that balance, and you can do both. The myth that we carried before in the past, it's all gone. We're evolving to, like I said, we're mystics without a monastery. You need to be in the world. We need you in this world, but at the same time, we need you to get quiet and still so that your intentions are pure. Yes, you're freaking beautiful here in California. You have your abs, you have your car, so what? You have no damn substance. So get a little bit of both. Be pure in your intention. You can benefit from material things, but also get over yourself and spread that to the rest of the world. So again, continue to meditate. If you want more information on Azusa, the Dhammakaya temple, I'm gonna post it down below. We have locations all around the world. The classes are free, so make sure you guys come out, check it out, learn some wisdom. Learn about yourself, learn about meditation, and if you have any further questions about anything, ask myself, Ryan, Edna below, and we will definitely get back. Talk to you guys soon. Thank you. Sweet.
Awesome.